Welcome everyone to this regularly scheduled board meeting of the Tahoe PD. If you would all please stand and join me in prayer. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all for coming. At this time, do we have any comments from the audience on items that are not on our agenda? All those smiling faces, I think, are staff. So let's go on to the corrections to the agenda or consent calendar. Does anybody have any of those? So let's get a motion on that.
I'll second that.
Okay, before not on that vote, thank you all. Items for board action. Let's buy some equipment, maybe. Cliff, Chris, just a little insight. Chris says, "Uh-oh, Cliff's in the audience. We're buying something."
I did really be fair, mine's cheaper than his.
Yeah.
Is that why yours is first?
Yeah. Nice.
Right.
I'll give you a brief history on our shop. When I first started here, almost 30 years ago, we had a one-bay shop. We had an old lift that you had to be on your toes because it would like to fall down on you. We worked that shop. There was two mechanics, me and Paul Carrion. We worked that shop for roughly 10 years. And at that time, or between that time, our vehicle started to expand. We needed a larger shop. We decided on moving into a parking garage that was across from us, which is basically a three-bay shop with storage on it. Well, we've been using that three-bay shop fairly well for the last 20 years. But now our fleet's getting to the point again where we don't have enough room to be able to do thorough work and diagnosis on these newer trucks, the electronics and everything they got. They're a much more complicated unit. When we got one of them down on our main rack, it will hamper us from doing our everyday services, our oil changes, our tune-ups, and just our basic safety checks we do monthly on all of our vehicles for that month. So we took over the far bay, which was where we kept one of our back-ons, and we put it down in the truck garages. And with the help of John, we got the walls extended on them and the doors brought out to where we could fit these trucks in. So in that bay now, I would like to put another truck rack in there to where we'd have the truck racks. These also work on our smaller trucks, so they're not just for our larger trucks. But it gives us the ability to be able to lift our larger trucks up to get underneath them, because a lot of them, they have very low clearance and they're hard to work on your back.
Too old for a creeper now, huh?
Yeah. Even the old season creeper with no wheels on, it's called sled. But, so this rack that I have here, this is the only one I found. The big truck rack we have now is a platform rack that lifts up and back. This one will lift actually straight up, which would be very nice, because as it is now, our other rack, it lifts it up, and you got to watch out because it'll lift the vehicle right into the door or something. And this is the only company that I found that builds a rack like that. We looked at them years ago when we got the rack we have now. At that time, they were very more costly than they are now. And I feel compared to the rack we have, this one would be able to get all of our larger trucks and pieces of equipment and service them properly.
questions, comments? That was pretty easy, huh? How about a motion?
I could go for an easy day, but
I move that we approve the purchase of one 78,000-pound lifting capacity truck equipment lift for the district's fleet repair facility through Sourcewell Procurement, Sourcewell contract number 061015-SKI in the amount of $110,393.78.
second.
I know. I let him help. Sorry, totally let him help. That's what the easy guy. Jim, you're not going to be selected. Okay, 4-0. Thanks, bud.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to talk about Diamond Valley Ranch.
So I'm here to ask for authorization to purchase our haying equipment. You'll recall that we terminated the agreement with our custom haying contractor at the end of November. At that time, we determined that it was going to be in the district's best interest to conduct all our future haying operations internally, utilizing our own staff and our own equipment. We estimate that the annual revenue from the sale of the district's hay will be from $70,000 to $100,000 a year, which would equate to a payback period of between 6 to 8 years for both the equipment we're asking for and a future storage facility. And I'll attempt to answer any questions at this time. I stumbled because I didn't realize my bifocals can't focus on what I'm reading. Anyway, fire away.
Paul, maybe you can address what we talked about the other day about how this works into your budget and stuff like that.
I have the numbers, Paul.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I can say this, Paul, and you can correct me, of the $377,000 basically that I'm asking for the equipment, 73% of that has been budgeted.
There you go.
27% will come from capital reserves.
And you had mentioned that based on the entire cost of the operation, that he has a 4 to 6 year payback. But if you look at just the amount that actually wasn't budgeted for, which is the 27% that you referred to, really the payback for that amount is like between a year or two. So it's actually a fairly quick payback for the funds that we didn't know we were going to be spending on the project.
And you mentioned future storage facilities.
Correct.
What and when are you envisioning?
Starting next year, what I want to do is really get a good square footage calculation associated with how much hay we're going to retain. We'll be working with Nevada hay growers as far as how to market and sell our hay, and so how quickly that they're able to get our hay sold will dictate how large of a storage facility we'll need.
So you're talking about for the hay storage, right? For the hay shed?
But then also equipment storage.
Yeah, one of the bays, all we really have to protect is the baler is the most important thing to protect from weather. And then, so just the bay for maybe the tractor and the baler.
We do have a placeholder currently in the 10-year financial plan for that storage unit. Remember, as I kind of said a little bit when we were in agenda review last week, that obviously the district's not going to be rich or do reductions due to the revenue coming in from this operation. But it's a byproduct of the entire Diamond Valley operations out there, so we might as well utilize it and earn some revenue off of it. And if they can absorb it into their daily operations, sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, it's easily absorbable into our daily operations. Also, keep in mind that as we went out with that 5-year grazing permit, that's been a boom. I mean, this year alone, we've pulled in $171,000 from that, and that cattle rancher's making big improvements to the grazing fields, and so the asset value of our ranch is increasing.
You gonna be able to do all this with the existing staff?
Yeah, it basically equated to roughly 2% of our available man hours, and that was only factoring 6,000 man hours of the three staff.
So for John and I, who are from the Midwest, can you tell me why you decided on John Deere?
We decided on John Deere, specifically because Dale Borsini, who has been a godsend for us, he's the one that Tom Hayne was able to get to, prep our land, and plant our fields, and came to our rescue here in our third cutting. He's taken us under his wing and wants us to be really successful. He puts up about between 2,500 and 3,000 acres of hay and a year, and he swears by the John Deere equipment. And it was a Sourcewell contract, and our best dealer locally, with Renner, it just worked out that way.
And Jimmy, we're considering used equipment. Can you speak to that?
That was something I wanted to. I think we talked in closed session before. I wanted to put a package together for you guys of used equipment, and then Dale quickly dissuaded me, saying that you got to focus on, delivering this product, and you don't need any potential problems. He said, if you were, very proficient at this, then used equipment is something, to look at in reality. But you're looking at pieces of equipment, you really don't know their lifespan, and you could be inviting potential problems that you don't want to take on. And so, I'm, as much as it disappoints me that I couldn't come to you to present something, for a lower dollar amount, I'm pleasantly surprised that this will be, the payback period is such that, it's pretty viable.
The other issue I might ask that is, with used equipment, it's very difficult to get those registered in with California for the emissions. They're very stringent when it comes to what you bring into California. Even if it is a California vehicle, piece of equipment, it has to meet current standards for their emissions they want.
Yeah, actually, that was my only reservation with the new equipment. I mean, it's good you're going to renew because we're going to keep it for a long time.
Yeah.
But is the state of California going to change their emission standards 5-6 years down the road?
They said Tier 4 final, so.
Yeah, and there might be, Chris has a good point, there might be ag equipment exemptions. And so Cliff is
Sure, to a point that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
I have to report every year to California, ARB, our equipment emissions that we have, and our ag emissions, even though they don't really consider them.
And your new lift will be able to lift this stuff up so you can. Your staff is up on, they're currently pouring over tech manuals for farm equipment. So
Well, we've been working on a New Holland, the older New Holland for quite some time, off and on. It's been a good tractor for out there. For the amount of times it was buried by the previous operators. It's held together very well, and I've looked over this John Deere with Jim and everything, and I'm very confident about that. The John Deere is more beat potatoes when it comes to farm tractors compared to a New Holland, which being an English version of a Ford is full of relays and solenoids and all sorts of neat electronic things that like to go bad and are obsolete now. So, good choice.
Also, I did all the John Deere equipment comes with a three-year warranty. And Renner also backs it to the point where if you're having an issue during a point in time when you're cutting, they'll bring in some equipment to make sure that you're taken care of.
Okay, does anybody else have anything on this? Jim, why don't you give us a read?
You can't see it.
I told you I wasn't, you wanted to hold it here because you're
Requested board action, authorize staff to purchase one John Deere tractor, one John Deere rotary mower conditioner, and one John Deere baler by using the competitively awarded contracts through Sourcewell Procurement Services contract number 021815-DAC for John Deere ag tractors and/or implements in the amount of $332,856.70, and to authorize an exemption to the competitive bidding procedures due to special circumstances for the purchase of used equipment for one Pro Ag bale retriever from Ryder Equipment Company in the amount of $44,000.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, for nothing, thanks, Jim.
Thank you.
Well, I'm not seeing Mr. Budstow around, so I'm assuming, who's picking up his slack?
I think it's Julie.
I was gonna just do ball, but I noticed how the buck just slid.
No, I'll go ahead and take care of it. So we're seeking authorization for district staff to negotiate and execute a contract with Automated Merchant Systems Incorporated for electronic payment processing services based on the fee structure in the attached Automated Merchant Systems Incorporated cost proposal. So electronic payment processing, what that means is credit card charge processing. Currently, we use a company called Paymentus that processes those charges for us. And we've talked about that on and off with you guys a few times when we've discussed the monthly billing issue and how those charges could increase substantially when we move to that format. But with the conversion to Tyler New World, the new billing system, we're required to change the vendor that does that credit card processing for us, because they only work with two, one being the Automated Merchant Systems Incorporated and one being Open Edge. Due to the longevity of the working relationship with Tyler New World and AMS, that was the vendor that we decided to pursue and get the cost proposals from. So they performed a cost analysis for us, comparing it to our current Paymentus contract, and they were able to illustrate that we will achieve a 38% savings ongoing into the future by moving to them. So it's actually good that, to tell you the truth, that Tyler doesn't work with Paymentus, although we were going to probably conduct this analysis anyway when we got closer to to moving to monthly billing. The other contractor, Open Edge, like I said, they did have a very similar cost structure, but a much shorter working relationship. And so there were some unknowns with them, which is why we're recommending going with AMS. So, as I said, the staff request is to authorize district staff to negotiate and execute a contract with Automated Merchant Systems Incorporated for electronic payment processing services based on the fee structure in the attached Automated Merchant Systems Incorporated cost proposal.
I'll give you some moves, but does anybody have any questions? Well, pretty straightforward. Yeah, and you're saving money, so that's good. I would actually like to see us eventually move towards there being a fee passed along to customers for credit card charges on this, like there are on a lot of particularly utility government type sites. You know, as a retail vendor, they're willing to absorb that 2-3% or whatever it is, but for us, that 2-3% really adds up. So eventually, I'd like to move that direction.
Okay.
How much would it cost for each customer if they did that?
I couldn't tell you for sure, because fees generally aren't exactly the same per customer, because it varies by the type of card they use or whether they pay by what they call e-check, which is like when you set up a payment for your bank account and then they send a check to to us to process. But utility charges that go through credit cards are the lowest of just about anything that you can buy when you do it. So it probably wouldn't be that much. It'd probably be somewhere between $2 and $4.
Well, just on this one page from their letter, they've got a schedule, and I just didn't understand it, because they got like a statement fee, $7.50 a month, and minimum fee $10 a month.
Yeah, that all factors into the total cost that they charge in the district. Yeah, because there's some administrative fees along with the actual processing fees.
Anything else? Well, we have a motion, we need a second. Second. Okay, 114-0 vote. Any questions?
I move approval of payment of claims in the amount of $2,398,102.04.
Second. Okay, on up again. Standing and ad hoc committee reports. I don't have anything on this category. Anybody else? Okay, how about board member reports? Nope. Again, okay. Moving right along, is anyone on, have one?
The meeting next Wednesday, and I assume we're going.
Yeah, it's going to go next week, and there's actually apparently going to be a change on the board of directors. Again, Waddle and Grizzly Flats, but they'll be joining the board as part of their, as part of the compact. They all change between AD and Grizzly Flats. So Dan will be starting up. We have a meeting with him on Wednesday when we go down with he and Ken and talking about additional funding for this year and new cost share projects for next year. So that's coming up on Wednesday. And for the GM report, I have a few items, starting with a staffing update, and it's been very busy. Underground repair sewer worker, after 27 applicants and 6 interviews, we selected Nick Puichoff, who started today, and he's coming to us from South Tahoe Refuse with really impressive welding and mechanical skills. So I'm glad to have him starting today. In engineering, for project engineer, we interviewed 5 last week. We made an offer to 1 candidate, and he's now in the pre-employment process. And he's from out of town, so we expect him to be starting early April. And also in engineering, the limited term engineer, that advertisement closed January 30th. We had 17 applications, so we're currently taking a look at those and deciding on who to interview in the near future. And then also in engineering, we have a new intern starting next week. He will take over for Christina, who was kind of turned out at 1,000 hours. Moving on to customer service, a limited term meter tech. That advertisement closed in early January. We had quite a few applications. We have 35 applications, 2 of those were internal, and we have 6 interviews scheduled for next week. And also in customer service, we have a temporary customer service rep starting up this week to fill that vacancy for another 3 weeks. He's there to cover for someone who's out of FMLA maternity leave, so probably there for another 3 or 4 months. And then in HR, Liz now has a temporary assistant to help out during Nancy's absence, and that is Ala O'Shea, and she has an expansive skill set. We had to go all the way to Sochi for Ala, and she's back there with Liz. Welcome. So that's the staffing update. A couple, next couple items are somewhat related. California Tahoe Alliance, the CTA. This is our regional advocacy and lobbying group. And we all met up in Sacramento on Monday. First meeting with our lobbying consultant, Platinum Partners. And then Monday afternoon, we went to the Capitol. We connected with 6 state legislator offices, including chiefs of staff for Megan Dolly and Frank Bigelow. So that was great to get in and see those chiefs of staff, especially. I was explaining our funding needs for water infrastructure for firefighting, especially in light of the forthcoming climate resiliency bond that the state is working on. It's being developed currently, and really this is all the rage at the Capitol right now on both sides. And so expect to see this on November's ballot, a climate resiliency bond. It's going to be in the $5 to $7 billion range. So we definitely want to get our projects out there and have us, our project considered for that bond funding. I talked about our local challenges as a disadvantaged community and the vacation and second home ownership situation that affects our local population numbers. Some state programs exclude us if our permanent population is below 50%. So that's a real problem. I want to make sure they're aware of that. And we're really at that 50% level right here, right now. So that will push us out of some of those state programs currently. And sometimes we're excluded because our disadvantaged community is too large. I think we've seen some limitations at 10,000, population of 10,000, so we'd like to see that at 30, 40, 50,000 at least. So just making them aware of that and asking them to look out for us on these issues in the future. I felt like that was really well received, especially at Dolly's and Bigelow's office. So the next item in the next day was Sierra Day at the Capitol, and really a similar production. We met up with the Sierra Nevada Alliance, and then in the afternoon we met with state senators, assembly members, and their staff. And we also had meetings with the governor's staff, including Wade Crowfoot, who's the Secretary of Natural Resources, and it's really valuable insights as to the government's budget, the governor's proposed budget, and also the climate resiliency bonds that I just mentioned. So really looking forward to those funds and being a part of it. Moving on, Lake Valley Fire Measure B. Last week I met up with Chief Alameda and a member of Lake Valley staff, and I also attended a public meeting they held at Sierra House. This was in regards to their upcoming ballot measure, Measure B. So this will provide funding for Lake Valley directly, mostly for fire engines and safety equipment for their staff. They're just not getting enough funding for existing taxes and grants to replace aging equipment. And as we know, and as the equipment knows, the new equipment is so much more expensive than it has been in the past. Fire engine is $750,000 plus, so they're just not getting the funding. They're looking for a $52 per year per parcel tax, raise funds for these purposes. And we wanted to make sure that we knew that these funds will not go to fund new positions or for paying benefits for existing positions, for equipment, for engines and safety equipment only. And they'll have many more public presentations scheduled this month. We've seen that notice. And also I want to mention that Chief Alameda is planning to retire in May. So there'll be some more changes coming to Lake Valley Fire. Last item I have is environmental policy development. And we've kind of mentioned this to the whole board from time to time. We've been talking about it pretty much every ops meeting for 6-8+ months. And I just wanted to mention that Shelley's leading our effort working with staff and operations committee to put a draft environmental policy together for future board discussion. And we really don't want to go too much further without the full board's direction in this manner. But we do want to give you something to look at, something to chew on. And right now we're looking at, it's kind of a 4-page, fairly general, I guess, policy document talking about data collection. And it's really, I think, builds upon that climate action plan that we developed last fall that we brought to you, I think it was in December. So we're building off that. It's about 4 pages. It's aspirational in many regards. And so we're trying to think about what's the best way to bring this to the board for complete direction. What do you think about this? Maybe we continue working with the ops committee and we can bring that 4-page draft to the full board in the next month. Give you a chance to look that over and then we can have some open discussion with the full board. Does that sound like it?
Yeah, I'd like that. I'd like to get the whole board's input before we get too far down the trail.
Great. That sounds good. We'll plan on doing that. And that is all I have.
Very good. Got an item, it says staff attorney reports with nothing underneath it, so got my fingers crossed with Gary. He's gonna just sit there. Normally this is when Shelley jumps up. And I don't see anybody coming for that, so this is cool. We're moving right along. We do have a couple of closed session items we're gonna do, so let's move right into that. session, we're reporting 2 items, and we know what those are. Well, it's not on tape now, right?
We are on tape.
We are on tape, okay, then the 2 items are, then, seeing how we're on tape. Oh, you want to read it? Okay, the board approved an amendment to task order number 8 with Kennedy Jenkins as consultants, increasing the amount by $40,957 to $257,982, with the district's responsibility increasing from $72,342 to $85,995. And then the second thing we're reporting out is that I appointed Kelly and myself as the negotiating team between the general manager and the board. Meeting adjourned.